Night settled slowly over Bryson's valley, the last embers of daylight fading into a deep violet sky. The village torches flickered one by one, casting soft halos of orange light across stone pathways and farm rows that would soon become battlegrounds. The air carried a heavy stillness, like the galaxy itself was holding its breath. Bryson walked the perimeter alone, cloak brushing the grass. The white saber at his hip glowed faintly, a symbol of everything he had fought to become. He paused near the old barn he'd rebuilt, staring at the fields he'd tended with his own hands. This land had saved him, given him purpose after a lifetime of pain. Now it would be threatened again. Silver sat on the hill beyond the forge, looking over the valley where villagers slept under reinforced roofs. Clanker beeped softly beside him, sensing the tension. "Yeah," Silver murmured, rubbing the droid's dome, "I know. Feels like the old days, the bad ones." He swallowed the memory of Tatooine burning, the shape of loss still raw in his chest. "I won't let that happen here," he whispered. Down by the riverbank, Ethan knelt with his hands in the water. The Force moved through the current, cool and quiet. His reflection flickered with the torchlight, older now, wiser, but troubled. 3 Padawans slept in a tent behind him. He watched their silhouettes and wondered if he could keep them safe when dawn came. "Master," one whispered sleepily from within, "you'll protect us, right?" Ethan didn't answer at first. He simply smiled, placed a reassuring hand on the tent and said, "With everything I am." Later, the 3 met atop the stone watchtower. No words at first, just silence and the soft crackle of torches. Stars stretched above them, but one shone wrong. A faint, distant scarlet pulse, the echo of Jacker's weapon charging. Bryson exhaled. Tomorrow changes everything. Silver tightened his gloves. Then we make sure it changes in our favor. Ethan rested his hand on theirs. Together, no matter what comes. Below them, the village slept. Above them, war approached. And between those two worlds, the 3 friends remained, quiet for the last time. Darth Jacker stood in the ruins of an old battlefield, one scorched during Bryson's reign of wars years ago. Beneath layers of ash and collapsed stone, ancient stasis pods lay entombed. Jacker's red-black blade carved through metal and rubble, exposing the cracked chambers. Inside, silhouettes stirred. "Rise," he commanded, voice echoing through the catacombs. One by one, the pods hissed open, releasing warriors long presumed dead, Sith assassins, bruised by time but filled with hatred for the Jedi who defeated them. Their eyes burned with old vendettas, especially the name carved into their memories, Bryson. Jacker raised a fist. "You will have your revenge, follow me." Within hours, the sky above Bryson's valley darkened. Red dropships cut through the clouds like falling stars, smashing into the fields. Villagers ran for shelter as armored Sith poured out, chanting ancient war cries. Bryson sprinted into the square, white blade igniting. "You want me, come get me." But Jacker didn't strike. He stepped from the smoke, 10 scars glowing faintly, horns silhouetted like a demon in firelight. "No," he said, "you will not die, you will serve." Dark tendrils of the Force wrapped around Bryson, dragging him to his knees. Jacker pressed a corrupted kyber shard to Bryson's chest, trying to infect his light with the shadow. Then, a silver streak shot across the plaza. Silver slammed into Jacker full force, breaking the ritual. Ethan landed beside Bryson with a burst of blue energy, pushing the Sith back. "You will not take him." The battle exploded. Sith assassins rushed them from all sides, blades clashing in flashes of red, white, blue, and silver. Bryson rose, shaking off the lingering darkness, fury igniting inside him. "Not my home," he growled. "Not my people." The 3 fought back to back, Silver's raw strength, Ethan's precision, Bryson's blazing determination. Villagers rallied behind them, pushing the invaders toward the dropships. Jacker snarled as the tide turned. "This is only the beginning." Ethan stepped forward. So is our resistance. And with one united strike, the three heroes drove the resurrected Sith back into the night. When the dust finally settled, and the last of Jacquer's resurrected Sith scattered into the wilds, Bryson, Ethan, and Silver stood exhausted but unbroken at the center of the ravaged village. Smoke drifted upward in thin gray columns. Villagers tended to the wounded, cleared rubble, and reinforced barricades for the next inevitable strike. Bryson wiped sweat and soot from his forehead. They won't stop. Jacquer will come again. Ethan nodded grimly, and stronger. Before Bryson could respond, a sudden hum filled the air, deep, pulsing, familiar. Dozens of sleek starships descended through the cloud layer, their hulls shimmering under the rising sun. Blue lights flashed. The villagers tensed until the ship's insignia became clear. The Jedi Order. Dropships settled gently at the outskirts of the village, and ranks of Jedi Knights stepped out, robes flowing, sabers at their sides but unignited. At their head stood Master Callan Varro, a calm presence with silver hair and eyes sharp enough to read wind. He approached Bryson slowly, respectfully. "We sense the disturbance in the Force," Varro said, "a tremor great enough to shake the core of the galaxy, and now we see why." Ethan stepped defensively between them. "If you're here to take Bryson back." Varro raised a hand. "No, what happened today proves something far more important. You are not our enemy." The villagers exchanged stunned glances. Even Silver stepped back in shock. Varro continued, voice firm but warm. "Darth Jacquer's return threatens more than your village. It threatens the entire Republic. Bryson's knowledge of the reign of wars and the Sith who survived it may be the key to stopping him." Another Jedi Knight stepped forward. "Allow us to help fortify your home, train your militia, stand with you." Bryson almost couldn't believe it. After everything, the accusations, the imprisonment, the escape, the Order was here asking for alliance, not surrender. Silver folded his arms, eyebrow raised. "So the Jedi are joining us now." Varro smiled gently. "If you'll have us." Bryson exhaled, steady and certain. "Then welcome to the village. We fight together now." And for the first time in a long time, hope settled over the war-scarred horizon, bright, steady, and growing. As Master Varro finished speaking, another figure stepped forward from the ranks of the Jedi, armor scraped, cloak torn from the recent battle. Bryson froze when he recognized him. Knight Darren Solas. The man who arrested him. The man who dragged him before the council. The man who escorted him to Jedi prison. Darren approached slowly, each step heavy with something far deeper than duty. For a moment, Bryson's fingers twitched toward his white saber, old instincts, old wounds, but he forced himself still. Darren stopped just a few feet away. His voice cracked. "Bryson, I owe you something I should have given years ago." The village fell silent. "I was wrong," Darren said, "not just in judgment, but in faith. I believed the worst of you because it was easier than questioning the council, easier than trusting someone who walked the edge of light and darkness." Bryson stared, jaw tense. "You threw me into a cell for 70 years. Darren swallowed hard. "And I would carry that shame for the next 70 if it meant I could stand here now and say this." He bowed deeply, a Jedi bowing to someone they once condemned. "I am sorry." The villagers murmured. Even Ethan's eyes softened, just a little. Silver crossed his arms but said nothing, watching Bryson like he was deciding the fate of the galaxy itself. Darren continued, voice steadier. "The council has reevaluated everything. We saw Jacquer's rise, we saw the truth of your choices, and we saw the consequences of our blindness." He stepped aside, revealing 3 more council representatives behind him. "We are here not as your judges, but as your allies." Master Varro nodded. "Knight Solas has petitioned to stand with your village permanently, to defend what he once helped endanger." Bryson looked at Darren for a long, long moment. Finally, he spoke. "You hurt me," Bryson said quietly. "You broke my trust, but today you stood with us. A breath, a decision, a shift in the force. So if you want to help us now, then help us. We're going to need everyone." Relief washed over Darren's face, and he bowed again, this time with gratitude instead of guilt. As the Jedi Knights and villagers mingled, preparing for the next battle, Bryson whispered to himself, "This time we fight together." 6 suns rose over Bryson's village, pink light spilling over the rebuilt walls, the watchtowers, and the fields Bryson had once plowed alone as a boy running from pain. Now it was a haven for thousands, protected by Jedi, villagers, refugees, and warriors from across the Outer Rim. But peace did not last long. Word traveled fast. Darth Jacker was coming. Not alone, with an army of resurrected Sith loyalists and his terrible creation, the interplanetary beam, fueled by corrupted kyber and ancient rage. It could wipe out a world with a single shot. And after testing it on Silver's homeworld, turning the once gold deserts into molten glass and shadow, Jacker's next target was clear. Bryson's village, the last place resisting both the Sith and the Order's tightening grip. The approaching dark. The alarms echoed across the hills. Silver stood atop a watchtower, cloak snapping in the wind, face pale as ash. He had seen war, slavery, betrayal, but the silhouette forming in orbit, the jagged, monstrous ship, made his stomach twist. Ethan and his Padawans rushed beside him. "Is it him?" Ethan asked, though he already knew. Silver nodded, jaw tight. "Jacker." Behind them, Bryson climbed the tower, white saber at his side, the villagers gathering behind him with newly forged weapons. Bryson exhaled. No more running. Down in the village square, Jedi Masters, Knights, and even the once condemning council representatives organized defenses. Darren Solas stood with them, armor reforged, face determined. Bryson gave him a nod, small but real, and Darren nodded back. The force shifted. The ground trembled. The Sith army landed. Jacker emerged from the smoke like a demon dragged from the pages of a forgotten age, red skin gleaming, black and red blade humming with death, scars like jagged lightning across his face. His army fanned behind him, Sith from Bryson's years in the war, reawakened, reforged, snarling for blood. "Bryson Groven," Jacker hissed, voice like burning metal. "My master's greatest betrayal. Today your village burns, your friends die. And you." He pointed his blade at Bryson's chest. "Will return to the Sith whether you want to or not." Bryson stepped forward, white saber, igniting with a crackling howl. "That time in my life is dead." Jacker smiled. "Then you will join it." The armies clashed. Sith versus Jedi. Villagers versus resurrected warriors. Clanker rolling into battle, screaming warbled threats. Ethan leaping through the air in a golden arc of force light. Silver tearing through the battlefield like a living storm. But Jacker had only one target. Bryson. Their blades met, white and black-red, sparks exploding like stars. "You belong to us," Jacker roared. "I belong to my village," Bryson growled back. "I belong to my friends." Jacker slammed Bryson backward. "You belong to the Force's true side, death." The interplanetary beam hummed behind them, charging, drawing power from corrupted kybers that shrieked like tortured ghosts. If it fired, the village would vanish. The world would break. The galaxy would shudder. Silver saw the beam powering up. His heart stopped. Images of his childhood home burning. His mother screaming. His father fleeing. He had lost everything twice already. Not again. Not Bryson. Not Ethan. Not this village. He sprinted toward Jacker and the massive beam generator, firing blasts, dodging Sith strikes, Clanker squealing behind him. "Brycen," Silver shouted, "move." Bryson ducked as Silver slammed into Jacker with full force-enhanced momentum. The Sith Lord crashed into the metal platform beside his own weapon. Jacker snarled, "You, the Wanderer, the Stray, you dare." Silver grabbed him by the throat, teeth clenched, eyes burning with something deeper than anger. "You destroyed my planet." Jacker grinned, "And I'll destroy your friends too." Silver didn't answer with words. He grabbed Jacker's arm, threw him straight into the glowing core of the interplanetary beam. The machine screamed. Jacker screamed louder. The corrupted Kyber reacted violently, tearing his body apart in a blinding cyclone of light and shadow. Then, boom! The beam detonated inward, collapsing the entire structure, pulling Jacker's remains into a crushing singularity of his own creation. The shockwave struck the battlefield, sending Sith fleeing and Jedi shielding the villagers. Silence followed. Jacker was gone. The Sith army, leaderless, scattered into the hills. The village still stood. Smoke drifted across the broken fields. Villagers helped the wounded. Jedi extinguished fires. Ethan found Silver kneeling among the ruins of the beam, breathing hard, soot on his face, shaking from adrenaline and trauma. "You did it," Ethan whispered. Silver stared at his hands. "I killed him. I didn't think I had it in me." Ethan put a hand on his shoulder. "You saved the galaxy." At the base of the hill, Bryson stood with the council. Master Vero laid a hand on his arm. "We were wrong to judge you," she said. "We see that now, and we will rebuild this place, not as outsiders but as partners." Darren stepped beside her. "We owe this village and you our strength." The Jedi began constructing shelters with the Force, lifting beams, mending walls, healing the wounded. Padawans worked beside villagers. Knights forged shields. Masters planned new defenses. For the first time in generations, Jedi and civilians lived side by side, not as rulers or soldiers, but as a community. Bryson looked around at everything he nearly lost, and everything he still had. His farm, his rebuilt home, his people, his friends. He whispered to himself, "New bonds, new beginnings." Ethan smiled. Silver wiped ash from his face. Clanker beeped, proudly dented. And together, the three walked down into the glowing village, ready for whatever Chapter 5 would bring.